What up, YouTube? We're back for episode 2 because the first one wasn't a complete travesty. We've called it the Overtime podcast as well, which we were pretty happy about. I'm your host, Sim Babel. We're here again with Valdraws, Jacob, and Elbo. So say hi, guys.
Hello, guys.
Well, hello. I don't know what that word was. I meant to say boys, and then I wanted to say guys, I think. I don't know. So I went bah, like
That
sheep.
was
Not train wreck.
Yeah.
Going to me.
Hey, it's a good start. I'm on form today.
Yep, it's going to be a good one.
It can't get worse from here.
That's so true, actually. So we were trying to think of topics for the next podcast, and Elbo offered an interesting suggestion, and it was how Overwatch fits into the FPS genre. Do you want to tell us a bit more about that, Elbo, and what you meant by that, and then we can kind of bounce off of you.
So when you think of a shooter, right, you think like your classic Call of Duty, CSGO, the hardcore, realistic, big gun, go shoot. But then Overwatch is like, and like with like Valorant as well, like with the abilities, like it adds a whole new level, and it's like where that could go in the future, that could create like big games like even Hyperscape, the Apex.
Yeah.
Sorry, going back to that from the last episode. It's just like it could expand into so much more, rather than just stagnating in this like modern warfare. It could go futuristic and be cool. I don't know.
Yeah, and I think Overwatch was one of the first games to come out that was like, hey, we're a shooter, but you've also got like cooldown, so it's a little bit like a MOBA, a bit League of Legends-esque. It was definitely the first to do it, and like you said, Elbo, you've got games like Apex and Hyperscape that have come out afterwards that have been like, hey, we really like the idea of FPS with abilities. But Overwatch is still one of the only ones I think that have like characters that don't shoot as well, right? It's more like TF2 with abilities.
Yeah.
I mean, I think...
the reason I started playing Overwatch was because of TF2. It's like, because TF2 started to have... I know I cut across you there, mate, sorry.
No.
But you said TF2 and I was like, right. It was cool in the sense that you had these separate characters and they had separate abilities, right? But then Overwatch just kind of took all that and upped it, you know, next to the next echelon, the next stage in this as maybe unclassified game genres as we've just opened it with.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, it's an FPS, sure, but it's also something else as an extra dimension. Yeah.
Did any of you play TF2?
Me, that's what I'm saying. I played like 200 hours of TF2.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I played it a little bit. I never really got into it, but it was definitely fun at the time. Like, so this was going to be my follow-on question, actually, but Jacob, you've delved into it quite nicely. So I'll ask you, Val, and you, Elbo. Firstly, like, what were the games that you played, like, growing up? Because I think that's quite interesting. And then, what was the game that made you buy Overwatch? So for me, I'll answer first. I'll give you some time to think. But
sure.
For me, I was a massive Blizzard fanboy. So, like, played World of Warcraft, I played Hearthstone, I played StarCraft, I played Heroes of the Storm. Like, every game that Blizzard released, I loved it. So when they came out with first-person shooter, like, I also really liked Call of Duty Black Ops when that came out as well on the 360. God, that makes me sound old considering the Xbox Series X, New X, or whatever. It's just come out, but
big ups.
Yeah. So yeah, I used to love FPS and I used to love Blizzard, and they literally just married it together, and I was like, well, this is gonna be sick. So bought it. So yeah, that was probably my reason for buying Overwatch, was I loved the developers.
That's kind of huge.
Yeah.
Well, for me, I was a Wii gamer. I started off with like Wii Sports and Wii Party games, and then we got Mario Kart Wii. Played that for a solid 3 years. Then one Christmas, there was a big box in the middle of the room.
Ooh.
Xbox 360 out of nowhere.
Ooh.
Then next year, on my 7th or 8th birthday, I got Call of Duty Black Ops 2. And
oh my god, you were 7 or 8 when Call of Duty Black Ops 2 came out? I was a teenager when Black Ops 1 came out.
No, not when. Wait, might be.
Yeah, you might have been.
16, no, 2011, I think. No, that was Black Ops.
Oh my god.
might-
Either way,
might
the
be
end of
9.
this story is that I'm old, is what I'm hearing. Is that I'm a boomer.
Yep.
Basically.
What about you?
for
Val?
me it's basically I've always been like big Nintendo fanboy, and I've grown up with Mario, Pokemon, Zelda, everything like that. So I've never really had much of a history with PS4 or anything really before that. And I think I remember seeing the trailer for Overwatch. The first thing I saw was the cinematic for Widowmaker against Tracer, right?
Yeah.
And I was just so mesmerized. I was like, "Whoa, what the fuck is this? Like, this, this looks so incredible." And then I was like, "Wait, no, it's just a trailer. The game's not gonna be anything like that, right?" And then as soon as I saw the game, I was like really surprised, because if you compare it to the trailer, you can do pretty much the same things. Like, you can still like grapple, and you can still like shoot and stuff. And sometimes you have these trailers and you look at the game and it just doesn't look anything like it.
So funnily
And,
enough, I
yeah.
had the exact same thing when I watched. So the first trailer I saw for Overwatch was the one when they're in the museum and like it's the
Yeah,
little
with
boy.
the-
With
Widow.
Winston,
yeah. So I saw, because that was the announcement trailer, I think. And,
Yeah.
and it's got Tracer in it, and I remember watching the character Tracer, and I was like, "There's no way that anyone can actually play her like that. There's no way that you can
Yeah.
actually like teleport
Yeah.
and shoot and
This
teleport
is
and
just
shoot."
for animation.
Yeah, I was like, this is just hype. Let's not get too overhyped. And then I got in the game,
Right.
and I was like, no, I was right. I can't play this character. so
Yeah.
I was right. Yeah.
No, the only reason I bought Overwatch was we got like loads of coupons for Tesco and got it down to £2. My sister just
That's
ran
ghetto
down to
as
Tesco,
fuck.
got
Yeah.
Overwatch for £2, and yeah.
Yo, that's actually Pog, though. That's actually
Hilarious.
Pog.
That's a really funny story.
That's so funny.
£2.
Oh my
You've
days.
never looked back. It's consumed your life. You paid way more than £2.
Literally.
You paid your soul.
That's hilarious.
A small price to pay.
That's amazing. But yeah, so we're talking about how this is like, it was at the time at least, a revolutionary way to play FPS. It's definitely worked. I mean, I don't know if you guys heard the numbers on Overwatch at the moment. There's still 10 million players playing,
Yeah.
which is really healthy for a game as old as it is. I mean, the competitives like Dota, I think, are at like 12 million or something like that. It's like a very close numbers, and that game's still going really strong, obviously. So when people tell you that Overwatch is dead, they're angry and salty, and it's not actually
They're
true.
bad at the game.
It's just
I
not
just
actually
laugh
true.
every time. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah, it is ridiculous.
You wouldn't think that given the current state of ladder, but you know.
Well, that's
One
just
for
because the
that.
players don't know
Few
how to
times.
play the game, to be honest.
No, it's not that. It's the absolute dolts that you can encounter sometimes on mics and I
Very
guess in
true.
games as well.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think that there's 10 million people. It feels like the same 100 over and over again.
That is true. So
Mhm.
another thing that we wanted to discuss was the fact that we're a little late to the party as far as the news is concerned. It's been out a while now, but the announcement came out that Overwatch will have a mobile game come out when we hear
Ooh.
about BlizzCon.
Yeah.
Immediate reactions. I'll take one from like each of you. Elbo, you start. We'll work our way down the chat. So Elbo, go first.
Give it to me, and I'll see what it's like, and then everyone else can have a go. But me first,
Cool.
please.
Jacob, any takes?
Oh, no.
Oh my god.
Okay, Val.
I'm hyped if it isn't gonna be too monetized or any like, because
Yeah.
mobile games, they have like this really bad reputation, and it's really like right, like 99% of these mobile games just want your money,
Yeah,
like-
totally.
and then they ask so much of you. But yeah, I have faith in Blizzard in that way, that like maybe the game's gonna cost something, and then you can play it for like very like player friend, like, free to play
Yeah.
style. But yeah, I'd rather that.
I think that's more the direction they're going to take, because they're owned by Activision, and
Yeah.
Activision have Call of Duty Mobile, which, by the
Oh,
way,
that is ridiculous.
has a huge success. Right? It was
Really?
they did World Championships Call of Duty Mobile just after the Overwatch League. Right? It was broadcast. People played. It was enormous. Right? So Activision are clearly checking their assets, and they're like, well, we've got another first-person shooter. Why don't we put something like it onto mobile? And I will say that when Blizzard have ported games to mobile, it has generally been a success. Like, Hearthstone wasn't a mobile game. They ported it for mobile. Hopefully the same thing happens with Overwatch, where they're not trying to make, like you said, Val, like a cash grab game where it's like, hey, if you want to unlock Soldier 76, you better try and do this, or you can buy him. Like, hopefully it's not like that.
It's not an EA game, don't worry. That won't happen.
Yeah, but there's a possibility with Activision for sure to take it in that direction. So Elbo, you've played a lot of Call of Duty Mobile. How does that work as far as money's concerned? Because it is free to play.
Yeah, it's free to play. You can get most things. Recently, they've added a battle pass, which is like,
right.
Yeah, but there are 3 things you can get on the battle pass, and it's not necessary for progression. Like, your skill is the thing that gets you to the higher rank.
Yeah.
Because there is a ranked mode on it.
Okay. Go on.
Oh, you move on. I wasn't gonna...
No, I was just going to say, because the thing is with Hearthstone was always as it was. When it ported to mobile, it was just the same game with a different UI. But people still complained about that being a cash grab game, even though there is... you can reach rank 1 in your region without spending a single penny. You just have to level. So it's similar to loot boxes in Overwatch for you guys who haven't played it before, and to anyone listening. It's similar to loot boxes in Overwatch, but you get cards. You can buy packs of cards, but you will get cards for doing missions.
Completing your dailies.
Basically, completing dailies, So those will give you gold coins. You can spend the gold coins in-game to buy card packs, right? There is 100% a way that you can do it. There's also another facet. I know I'm on a bit of a tangent, so I'll wrap it up. There's also an area in the game called the Arena, where you basically bet your money, and you can go as far as you can in the arena against other players. Once you lose 3 times... based on how many games you won, you will get rewards back. And that costs 150 coins to go in, but if you win as many as you lose, you get those coins back. If you win way more than you lose, then you will make a profit. So there is a way, if you're good at the game, that you never ever have to spend any money on it. So it depends what your perception of free to play or pay to win is, because I never thought that was a pay to win game. But a lot of people did, usually if they were bad at the game. But that's my take.
Yeah, I was going to say, probably bad if they think they have to buy cards. It's like FIFA. I don't play that game, but I've got friends who are like, oh, I just bought a pack and I got Ronaldo on day 1. And you can just grind your way to get that, or you could just sell your soul and buy the packs with the money.
Yeah. So my question to you guys would be: is that bad? Is that bad that you get a game, whether you pay for it like FIFA or it's free like Hearthstone? You get a game, you can complete it free of charge. I know that you can't technically complete FIFA or Hearthstone, but you can max out your ability free of charge, or you take a shortcut by paying more money. Do you think that is okay? That game developers are moving in that way to do stuff?
Yes. That's perfect.
I don't mind it.
It's careful. You need to be careful about how you do it. I think there is a line, and you can do it in a good way, but like you can have people just like spend enormous amounts and then they just like run over you. Like imagine you could pay for like buffs. That would be ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Val. I think it's a slippery slope, but so long as it's moderated, okay. I mean, it was was it Battlefront, when Battlefront came out?
Yeah,
the
Star Wars game.
That was by the character.
That was a game I was
Han
thinking of when they made
Solo's
the EA
gun
reference.
or something, and it was just way better than.
You had to buy Yoda or something.
Yeah, there were some purchase walls that would literally just make your game better, and I don't think you could unlock it any other way. And that's when it goes way too far, and everyone obviously, boycotted it for lack of a better phrase. So they re-released it, and I have actually played it, and it's not that bad now. It's pretty good. Pretty
Yeah,
good.
I
It's
mean, I'm a Star Wars absolute fanboy,
Me
and
too.
I got that game for Christmas, and I was over the moon, like so excited.
Yeah,
And I played it for a month, and I put it down.
yeah.
And it's just because exactly what you said. It's just EA's shitty, game not game mechanics, but game transaction systems, and that just drove away so many players.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And I just it felt stale.
Yeah, so for Jeff Kaplan, we know you're listening to this highly sought after podcast. Be careful with your port to mobile. This is coming from 4 of the most reputable sources in the Overwatch community, so you should really listen to us, Jeff.
Yeah, we're dangerous.
What would you guys like to see from an Overwatch mobile game? Like, sky's the limit sort of thing. So it could be, a COD mobile, but with a watch sort of thing. It could be a card game. Would it be? Because my thing,
That would be so cool.
I'll give you some time to think about it. But my ideal thing, if you guys have ever played Warcraft or StarCraft, I would love it if there was a mobile version of like a turn-based strategy game based in the Overwatch universe. I think that would actually be sick, and it would definitely fit onto your mobile. So that's what I'd like to see out of it. I think that'd be actually dope.
Yeah. So when I gave my initial reaction, right, when I basically laughed at it, that was because I thought of Overwatch that I play on my console on my 4.8-inch iPhone screen. Like that's just not happening. It's just I just don't think it's feasible in terms of people already laugh at Switch players for playing them.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You know what I mean?
And
Like,
some
can
of
you
the
imagine
footage
a
from
mobile?
those are shocking because you've
Exactly.
got like
Can you imagine a
rendering
mobile
speed is so
Overwatch?
yeah.
It just wouldn't work. But as you said, something like a turn-based strategy game would like Pokemon-esque, like that.
Oh, that would be
Or
cool.
like, I mean, you know what I mean? Like something like that with.
Yeah.
I don't know. I reckon that would be quite nice. Or I'm a sucker for card games, so I used to play like
Me
Topps
too.
Kick, which is like this trading card game. They had like a Star Wars card trader as well.
Nice.
And I'm a sucker for those. And it's the same system that you described in Hearthstone, where you can earn in-game coins through doing things and then buy packs and then trade with other players. And something I'm not sure. I'm not sure if the Overwatch lore is good, right? I'm not sure if it's extensive enough to warrant a whole card, because you'd run out very quickly of characters and locations or
absolutely.
or like Overwatch trivia pieces to use, I think.
Yeah. That would have to be
whereas-
something that like is really padded out in the game, not something that you take from the game. So that would be rough to do. Elbo, any thoughts on what sort of thing you'd like to see?
I don't know if we'll have the same idea of turn-based strategy games, but like you assemble a team of like 6, maybe. I don't know. Random number out the air.
Nice.
You go in against like AI, or you could do against another player, and you like, I don't know, you like drag one character to another character, and they shoot them, or like you can drag a healer to one on your team, and they heal them. Is that a turn-based strategy?
That is effectively a turn-based strategy game, yeah.
Oh, then not.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I think Raid Shadow
For
Legends,
me-
but Overwatch.
I'm gonna come out and say I want an Overwatch racing game spin-off.
Oh
Racing game?
god.
I want it so bad.
Zach, you said
Everyone,
sky's the limit.
go Google Overwatch Hot Wheels. They have literally
Yeah, I've
designed
seen them.
cars for like Soldier, Tracer, Roadhog, and it's so cool because the cars even like match their personality and sort of their design.
Wow.
It is
gonna look it up right now.
amazing. And imagine the possibilities. You could have the maps be literal like racing tracks like Volskaya and I don't know, Hanamura. It would be so much fun.
You're not wrong. There's definitely
Val, you've
potential
got a
there.
point. Oh, and that links that I wanted to say that throws me back to what Elvis said about being a Wii gamer. I actually had a world record on Mario Kart Wii. Thank you very much.
Wow.
Yeah.
Alright.
I
Wow.
loved that game. And Val, by saying that, I originally laughed, but holy shit,
That would
your
be
brain
so
You
cool.
just sold it.
500 IQ.
Just
That
sold
was
it to
the
Jacob.
best
And you
idea
could
I've
even
heard.
like have abilities. Like imagine Roadhog hooking someone like
Yeah.
who's in front of him, and Tracer blinking forward. It would
Why
be
is this?
stupid.
Why is this a good idea? What the hell? Why am I liking this?
This is
It's an amazing idea. It's such a turn from the regular. And Overwatch it's the PG-13 game. The characters are fun. Some of them are silly. They're like,
Yeah.
we're not. We're
Yeah.
all older technically people who play Overwatch, but like it's
Yeah.
it's not aimed for us necessarily.
Yeah.
You know, these characters.
Well-
That's why the maps are so colorful. The characters are so. Some of them, like Roadhog, he's a fucking pig man with a hook. Like,
It's a
Yeah,
fucking
like,
pig.
We
you know
have
what
a
I mean?
hamster
I think
in
a
the
racing game would be awesome with these characters. Genuinely, that is a good idea. I would 100% play that.
I would say
100%.
I would try
Same.
it. I would try it.
And
give it a
these
go.
cars, by the way, are sick. These, like this Tracer car on the Hot Wheels search on Google. Oh my days.
You
Oh,
see
God.
it.
The crab
Yeah.
Hot Wheels.
Looks so good.
You've just started a whole fad where Jacob now collects
Honest
the
to God.
Overwatch Hot Wheels.
Literally.
Oh, actually, yeah.
I'm claiming the copyright right now. Blizzard,
Amazon
contact me.
delivered
There you
to
go. Well, Jeff's already listening, so he'll be in touch shortly, I'm
Oh
sure.
yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Hear this man, Val. He's good.
Yeah, hire this man. Right, on to some more slightly serious topics, I guess. The recent experimental that just came out. Okay. Well, for the viewers who don't know,
No
or for the
thanks.
viewers who need reminding because you're watching this 4 years into the future and I'm but a distant memory, the
Yikes.
changes were that Briggs 225 HP is going back down to 200. That's like the biggest change.
I think
that
we
has
should
the
talk
community
about them
up.
like one by one.
Okay, well, we'll talk about that then. So Briggs' health is going back. So it started 250, then it went 200, now it's 225, and now they want to revert it once more to 200. Thoughts on this, Val? You're sort of our support expert, I
Yeah.
would say. So we'll go to Val first.
So, if you listen to the pro community, they all shout that Brig is like too OP and they need her back on 200 HP.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is just me, but like where I play her, she's very niche. Like you can only play her on certain maps and certain comms, and
Yeah.
she gets run over if they have a Pharah. Then you completely rely on your DPS to like hit scan, and we know how that goes on PS4. So I don't know. It's kind of an iffy situation. I don't love Brig either, so I don't mind her not being playable.
Yeah, fair enough.
She's
enough.
okay. I mean, yeah.
Okay. Elbo, give it to us. You just retched at the.
No, not
Patches.
this one. I'm
okay.
talking about a later one.
I think I know which one you're talking about.
Farah.
but Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Thoughts on.
Brig
Thoughts on the
first,
Brig?
Brig first. I feel like Brig is perfectly fine here, honestly.
Mhm.
As you say, she is quite niche, but I feel like she overshadows Moira, which I feel like with the Moira change in the experimental now, kind of like balances them together, so you can have either a Moira or either a Brig,
Yeah.
or both if you want to be scumbag.
So
But
that's the thing.
it's unnecessary, really. Like, just keep her at 225, which it is now, I think.
Mm.
You heard it
'Cause that's
here
fine by
first
me.
from a nearly GM DPS, and usually it's the DPS people who are up in arms about how good Brig is. Like, I never really had an issue with her playing Rhine. I still don't have an issue with her playing like Winston into her or whatever. Coming from the tank slot, I think that she's a massive boon to have on your team, but that's mainly for Rally.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Rallies.
yeah, her ult, right? Yeah, Rally. I was going to say, wait, no, I mean Inspire, but no, I mean Rally. Her ultimate is actually the thing that's busted about her kit, not the fact that she's got an extra 25 HP. If I
Yeah.
can go in as Rhine with my normal 200 shields, with another 100 shields put on top of me, I'm pretty untouchable.
still
that
going
fight,
up.
right? Yeah,
Yeah.
right. That's the bit about her kit that I'm like, yeah, we got a Brig. Not like, oh, she never dies, because she does die. She does. And if there's a Brig on the enemy team, I'm not like, I just can't kill it. Like you can kill her. That's where I come from, and I think the people are saying like I always go to Samito for this because he's obviously very vocal about it, and he's sort of saying her core mechanics are bad for the game, and that is a whole other discussion in and of itself, like whether or not her mechanics are bad for the game. But then a lot of her mechanics are carried over to different heroes as well. Like I was talking about it yesterday, that Doomfist is a very similar character in that premise. He has CC, and the more he CCs, the harder he is to kill because he gets shielding. So how can you vouch for the death of one character versus another? And if it's purely down to skill, then I'm not sure that's enough of an argument. But sorry, Jake, I kind of took over from you. What do you think about these Brig changes?
Not gonna lie, I haven't played them yet, so I don't really know. I haven't noticed Brig being an issue. Like when me and you played yesterday for a few hours,
Yeah.
and I don't remember any game in which we were complaining about. I mean, maybe we were complaining about our Brig not healing us, but I never
Yeah.
complained about an enemy Brig like running through us like a tank. Tank in the military sense, not the rule sense.
But also in the Overwatch sense.
I guess. True. Actually, I guess. Yeah, with her abilities. So I don't know. Maybe it is. I agree with Elbo. It's maybe just a bit unnecessary because I haven't seen as well, like on Twitter and in streams that I watch, I haven't seen many people complaining about Brig at all. So I think it's.
I think it's a small
unnecessary.
subset of a very loud part of the community. That's what I actually think it is. It's a small group who think that this is an issue, but they're very vocal, so they got their message across. I think it might be pretty rough if she goes back to 200 HP. I'm not sure that she's going to be playable necessarily for a lot of people. I think you have to play her perfectly to get value. If she goes back down to 200 HP, similarly to how Ryan operates, where it's like you can't really make a mistake or you get hard punished at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I feel like that's pretty consensual then. Everyone's in agreement on that. Well, we'll go to the one that Elbo wants to talk about immediately. So Farah now has the ability to crouch mid-air, and she drops out of the air instead of floating.
I hate it.
So,
Have you played this?
No,
Have you
I
played
actually
this?
haven't played it. I just read about it. So
I've
please
seen
talk me
it.
through it.
It's so insane.
Really?
It is ridiculous, but it's kind of bugged because you need to have it on not toggle crouch, otherwise it just like kind of taps you down a bit. But if you have it on if you have your crouch on L3, you can make a sine curve as Farah.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's not fun to play as or against, but I feel like it's good that it takes fuel.
Yeah, so I heard that as well. So that is good that it does take fuel. But so do you now just have to play Farah a bit more like Echo then, where she's not constantly in the air? She'll jump up, shoot a couple rockets, and then drop down quickly to reload and rinse and repeat? Is it going to be that?
I don't play Farah, but I would assume so, yes.
Right. Val, you said you hated it as well. Talk to me.
Yeah. I think it's gonna make it harder for the hit scan to even like shoot her down, because usually she gets in a bad position and then she just falls and the hits can track her down. But like this, she just zooms down, basically TPs,
Yeah.
and it's dumb. The Mercy's back, the shields are in front of her. Like, what can you do?
Fair enough. Jake, any thoughts on this one?
So, when I read the thing, I thought it would be really good. I was actually excited about it because I like playing Farah.
Yeah.
But if it's as fast as Val has made out to be, like a TP almost, then I don't. I think
It's
it does.
ridiculous.
I can't be selfish and say, yeah, it's good because I'm never going to die in the air anymore because I can just sit down.
It
So I'm
looks
never gonna
like
die.
when you get Sigma smashed back into the ground. That's what it looked like.
Jesus Christ.
Holy shit! Really?
That's so
Okay, yeah, that's not.
fast.
Yeah, see that's not fair. I don't think on hitscan players because that means that you have to kill her while she flies up to shoot her a couple rockets.
Yeah, and
and that
even then,
means-
she can just, if she is under pressure, she'll
Yeah.
just dip. Like, she can
I don't
fire a
know.
rocket, realize she's under pressure, and Sigma slam herself into the
Yeah.
ground again.
Again, I haven't played any of these yet, so I'm just hypothesizing. I don't, these are my hypothetical opinions.
I haven't
If I
played
haven't
into
played
it
them, they
either,
might
but
change.
how it sounds is, it
Yeah.
sounds scary, right? But
Yeah.
on the
True.
flip side, there might be a recall for Diva here. This might be a indirect buff to Diva because she is the best person at dealing with a Farah Mercy in the tank slot. So that might sort of bring back your Winston Diva comps with like a hit scan and a Farah. It might bring Rhine Diva with like a McCree.
Widow.
But then you're looking at more of a brawl comp if you've got the Rhine in there. So
Yeah.
it could open up some things, and people have been saying that hit scan is so strong for so long. So this might be an answer where it's like, well, are they overtuned or are people just good at hit scan? So it's certainly an interesting one, and I do like that they've put it in, because as much as I think it's good to get this sort of response out of the community. If the community hates something, then they know that with other changes that they may have been considering that are similar, they might get a similar response. So I think it's a good thing from Blizz to be chucking this in anyway, and being like, maybe, and you're like, no, put it back in the box, and they're like, okay. So I think that's fine.
Yeah.
The other changes
Cool.
aren't that impactful. They're a lot of quality of life stuff. So like Mei can put her wall down when she's dead now. Sim can do the same with her teleport. She can deactivate the teleport when she's dead.
I saw the Ana one.
Oh yeah,
But
That is actually huge.
That's a
a
really
nice
good one.
That's a really
I
nice one.
love it.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
really nice one.
Happens all the time.
yeah.
It makes you think, why hasn't it happened yet? Like, holy shit, her bullets have done that for how long?
Yeah, it's very.
And
true.
then
Let's just explain it very briefly before we talk about it. So Anna's biotic grenade now goes through anyone on her
Teammates
team
with
who's
full health.
Yeah. So something that, like Jake has said, her bullets have been doing since fucking years now, but something that they've only just put in for the nade. Everyone happy with it? Thoughts?
Yeah.
I love it.
Game changing.
It's not game changing, but it's really good.
Yeah, I don't know that there's a
It
whole
can be
lot to
game
talk about that.
I
Again,
would
it
say.
is. Do you think it's game changing?
Yes.
No.
I think it can be. I mean, her nade is
If
currently
you've got a
a game
Rhine
changer
shield in
already.
front of you, Zarya grabs, you throw nade through that. Instead of your teammates getting in the way and you having to get out of the way of your team, you can just Hail Mary it through them like a pipe bomb, and then their entire team is purple.
It's certainly
It's
it's
huge.
certainly an upgrade. It is a buff. I kept calling it a quality of life change, but like you put it like that, and I'm thinking about it more. It is a buff. It is definitely a
Yeah.
buff. But not a whole load to talk about it. It will, like you said, it will be way more reliable when you are trying to use the nade aggressively, which is actually how you should be using the nade 9 times out of 10 anyway.
Yep.
So it might actually cause bad Annas to be accidentally good. If they try and nade someone who's full HP on their team because they think it'll help with healing and they accidentally anti-nade the team, the opposing team, it might make some people accidentally good at the game. So I'm all for it.
I mean,
no, because then the bad players will be in Masters and will cry.
So true. So true. Good point well made.
Let's talk about the Moira one.
Okay, yeah. So Moira's basically the I was going to say fuel because we were talking about Farah, but her healing resource that it takes now for her to heal has gone down. I.e., she will be able to spam heal for longer. Jacob, any thoughts on this?
After that first, do you remember when Moira was a must pick and she was ridiculously OP? This wasn't too long ago, and then they nerfed her quite heavily.
Yeah.
I think ever since then she's not been bad. She's been fine. I haven't really
Yeah.
complained about her. So again, I think I just have to play this change and see if it affects anything. See if I notice Moira's more or less, depending on if they're on my team and if they're healing or not.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's that bad of a change necessarily, or that OP of a change. You know. I remember I saw the patch and it was like 14 to 12 or something, right?
Yeah, it's not hugely significant.
It shouldn't change the game that much. Whereas I just want to go back one thing. Anna's nade is already like a fight defining ability. You know,
Yeah.
like it has the ability to completely change. And I think maybe now that this nade is even more powerful,
Mm-hmm.
maybe you'll see Anna's having more impact. But I naively maybe because I also play a lot of Anna, I don't want to think that it's OP, you know. But yeah,
Fair
anyway, going back to the current thing.
Yeah.
Going back to this thing, I don't think it's that big of a deal that Moira's been changed like this. It's nice for Moira players, sure, but I don't think in general it'll affect things too much.
Okie dokie. Val, give us your lowdown.
Talking from the perspective of a Zenyatta player,
Mm-hmm.
I think Zen Moira, this is a buff for them because Moira can sometimes have to solo heal when the Zen is the healing orb, and it can be little like lackluster. If she can just like have more healing,
Mhm.
that puts like the whole team into a much better position. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So my only
I think
issue...
Zen. Go now.
Oh, sorry. I'm breaking up a little bit here. Can people hear me okay, or was it Val who was breaking
Yes.
up?
I think Val was breaking up because I got that too.
Okay.
Mhm.
We'll come back to Val in a second then. The one thing I
Maybe it
will
was
say
me.
about this change.
I was done.
Okay, cool, good, okay. The one thing I will say about this change is one of the things that, from doing VOD reviews and stuff, even on Moira's, the one thing that every Moira player does in, even into Masters, slightly below though, I would say like low Masters, high Diamond, even up to then, they waste resource. So my thing with this buff is it doesn't make Moira stronger, it makes bad players stronger. Because if you're,
like the Anna situation.
yeah, if you're pissing away resources on full targets anyway, you're gonna go into a fight with half a tank of gas, right? That is gonna happen anyway. The only thing it's doing is allowing for more errors to be covered up, and I'm not sure that that's the way that they should be doing it. It's slightly backwards for how they have been buffing recently. I think I would even go as far to say is like, because people don't like Moira as a character anyway, you should give her way less the resource for her to heal with, and then potentially give her way more burst, perhaps, something like that. But I think just letting her indefinitely spew out heals is not healthy for the game, so I don't know that I like this change.
I guess I didn't think about it deep enough, because now you guys have gone and given all proper answers.
Elbo, any thoughts on
This
that?
is what happens when you plant.
I never really find myself running out of resources as Moira. Like, with
Yes.
the heal orb and just... As Moira, you should just hold out your damage, so even if you get that one tick of damage, you get that one tick of healing resource back.
Yeah.
And, like, that's just kind of a thing you have to do.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, as you say, it's kind of like encouraging not very good players.
Yeah. I'm not sure about it personally. I think I think it's a step in the wrong direction for Blizz
Sorry.
to be taking. Yeah, I figured
Yeah.
you might cut out there or something,
Yeah, I had
so
to.
I kind of took over.
It's just like bad for just the health of the game to encourage people to have these bad habits of spraying.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. I think it's a slightly dangerous thing to do. The only positive that I can think of is that it does mean that in brawl fights, which will sometimes go long, it's a slight buff to Reinhardt and Zarya, who will be taking damage constantly, will be needing the resources pumped into them a lot. So it slightly buffs brawl, because it means that Moira can heal for, I don't know, an extra 5 seconds,
not
3 seconds
5.
or whatever per fight. Do you know what I mean? So it's a slight buff in that sense to the brawl style, which I'm all for. It needs some love desperately, so that's okay. But the only issue is that if it does not punish bad players for being bad, it's my only issue. Anything else in that patch notes thing that we need to talk about? I feel like those are the major ones that we talked about, and then there was the like, Torb can kill his turret when he's dead. Like, that was about it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
What does that change mean, though? Does that mean that he gets his cooldown faster, so when he can spawn, he...
That's
Like, what does
exactly
that-
it. Yeah, so the cool.
Yeah,
so
okay, right.
if he wants to destroy his turret, he will get that cooldown then, whilst he's dead,
Well,
instead
okay,
of
makes
having
sense.
to come back to life and do it.
It's also pretty good for Sim, like getting the TP back just to come back quicker.
Yeah, I guess, but
True.
I mean, arguably, when is that relevant? Like, once you've used TP, the jig is up. They know you're gonna TP somewhere, so they can usually counter it pretty well. So I don't know if it's hugely relevant, but it's a nice quality of life thing.
Definitely.
Yeah. All right. Any closing thoughts from you, gents?
Not from.
I was just letting see if one of them wanted to go first. Not really. I think we've discussed everything in pretty good detail, especially the patch notes, which as you can tell, I wasn't prepared for. But yeah, I think going back to the Overwatch mobile thing, strategy is the way that they should take it. I think I thought about that a little bit more afterwards, and I think the card idea that I said about how card trader just wouldn't work because
Yeah.
of the lore thing that I said. There's just not enough content, and I know there is a lot of content. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but there's not enough for an extensive card trading game.
Mhm.
But a turn-based strategy game you could definitely do. And then if we're dreaming, and this is in realistic terms I'm talking about, but if we're dreaming, oh my days, that would be a fucking Overwatch racing game.
Yes,
Like,
racing
I
game.
will get one of those like Zim, like you know what a Zim is for PS4, but like for
Yeah.
mobile,
Yeah.
where I can connect a controller all my days. I
Ooh,
will, I will know
Forza
life
wheel.
that,
I
honestly,
will
bro.
call it
Yeah,
Overdrive.
Forza wheel.
There we go.
Overdrive, yeah.
Overdrive. Perfect.
Because that's already a term. Wait, Val,
Wait.
you need to get your TV together.
Wait, what?
Oh my days.
Let's go.
You just need to get your CV together and send it in to Papa Jeff.
Here we
Alright.
go. Right, Papa Jeff will be in touch. I'm sure he's watched the podcast now.
Cool.
To its end. I
Awesome.
just want to once again thank Elbo, Jacob, and Val for joining me to sit down and talk Overwatch. If you did like the
No
video,
problem.
leave it a like. It really actually helps out with the YouTube algorithm. Also, leave some comments. What do you think about the Brig change? Because that's a really heated debate at the moment. Do you think the Moira changes are unhealthy? Do you think that the Anna change is actually game-breaking or just a quality of life change? Let us know in the comments below. Also, subscribe to the YouTube channel because we'll keep posting these so long as they keep getting love. But for now, we'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.
So, yeah.